Well, we'll have to start that section over again. The camera decided it was going to quit recording, but nevertheless, this is the most interesting advertisement to me in the article, in the whole 67 motor trend here. It's for the Mercury Cougar XR7. It's got the Cougar in the back. What a car. It's just a cool car. It's a shame that Mercury doesn't exist anymore. It's a shame they don't make Cougars. Not the front-wheel drive ones that they made, but even the later ones, the MN12 cars, are pretty sweet. But just read it here. Just arrived. European elegance comes to Cougar country. And Mercury's car of the year, soft glove leather, walnut grain vinyl panels, dials you can read, overhead console, hidden headlights, powerful V8 engine, and all standard equipment. Come drive Cougar XR7, the first popularly priced luxury sports car that's customized just for you. Boy, I'd love to have one of those. Really would. That is a cool car. Here's an interesting article. It talks about the Firebird, and it's pretty neat. They talk about the different engine choices you could get, from a big 400 V8 to that overhead cam 6-cylinder they made, which is a very interesting engine. I don't know, probably not too popular anymore. I've never actually seen one. I know you could get them in a Pontiac Tempest, but it's very interesting. We'll go to some of the performance specs here. I think it's pretty cool. There's some of the pictures of it. Now, I'm a pretty big Ford guy, but boy, that's a sharp-looking car, no matter how you slice it. Would not mind having an original Firebird. Once again, it's a shame that Pontiac doesn't exist anymore, but this is pretty interesting here. I'll read you some of the specifications here. I don't think I can get the camera to zoom in. But with the 400, the car hit 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. The overhead cam sprint hit 11.1. So that was pretty interesting. Let's see, stopping distances. Let's see, from 60 miles an hour with the 400, 134 feet. Sprint, 128 feet, so you can see a little bit lighter. The 400 was an overhead valve V8. It made 325 horse at 4,800 RPM, 410 pound-feet of torque at 3,400 RPM, with a compression ratio of 10.75 to 1. And that had a single 4-barrel on it, according to the article. And this one was set up with a 3-speed automatic turbo hydromatic. Now, on the other hand, the overhead cam 6-cylinder with the inline 6 made 215 horsepower at 5,200 RPM, 240 pound-feet of torque, at 3,800 RPM, 10.5 to 1 compression with a 1.4-barrel, and that had a 4-speed manual transmission. So that was just pretty interesting. Curb weight was pretty interesting. The 400 weighed in at 38.55, and the 6-cylinder weighed in at 35.71. So pretty neat, though. Pretty neat article. Once again, it's a shame they ceased production of the Firebird and Trans Am. Those were always pretty cool cars, and they were fast too. The later F bodies, I always wanted a 97 WS6. That would be a pretty hot car. This is kind of neat. Shows some of the different grills and setups on the front that they used. Just pre-production models, and it's just really interesting article. You know, obviously a very, very similar car to a Camaro, no doubt. This is a great article in here. It's entitled 3 of a Kind, and I like it because full-size cars are my thing. They take the Galaxy, you can see here, the Impala, and the Sport Fury by Plymouth, and they compare them. It's a very interesting article. This was when you could get full-size cars in 2 doors with stick shifts, and of course, huge engines. Here's just some of the pictures of it. There's the front of the Galaxy, there's the Chevy, and there's the Plymouth. Here's the rear end of the Plymouth. There's the Chevy, and there's the Ford. Now, I am a little biased. I do prefer the Ford over the other 3. My favorite Galaxy is a 64. Nevertheless, that is a sweet looking car. Very interesting article. I'd love to read the whole thing, just don't have the time right now. Show you some of the interior. You can see the differences. Here's the Plymouth. Plymouth does have a pretty cool interior. Here's the Ford. I don't know if you can see the swooping kind of speedometer there, which actually is pretty interesting because it's similar to what's in my 72. You can kind of see there without the glare. I always like that style. And then at the bottom there's the Impala, which is pretty nifty as well. Love the vent windows like that. my 84 Crown Vics have. Boys, that's a nice feature. It's a shame that they no longer exist. Now, in this article, the Ford came with a 390, rated 315 horse with a 4-barrel carb. The Impala was a 396, rated at 325 with a 4-barrel. And the Plymouth had their 383 V8 rated at 325 horsepower with a 4-barrel. So pretty comparable engines. This is kind of neat. It kind of gives you some of the different comparisons here. I don't know if you can read any of those. Ford Galaxy 500, rolling door locks optional. I believe those are the vacuum units. I believe, I'm not 100% sure. It had curved side glass, greatest exposed glass area, rear view mirror attached to the windshield. The tires were 15-inch diameter by 5.5 wide. It does have dual exhaust standard, which is interesting because the Galaxy and the Plymouth have dual exhaust standard, which I find is very nice, and the Impala does not, which is odd to me. It does have coil springs all around. The Impala has rimless curved windows, optional shoulder belts attached to the roof header rail, luggage compartment light standard. It does have a single exhaust. The tires are 15-inch by 16-inch wide. It has a link-type rear suspension with coil springs. Now the Plymouth has unit-type construction, parallel leaf springs in the back, dual exhaust standard. It has the best ground clearance, and it has 15-inch by 6-inch wide wheels. So that's very cool. Like I said, that's a neat article there. It's a shame they don't make cars like that anymore. But nevertheless, there always is a used market. Anyways, pardon the interruption there, the trash. But here are some of the specifications here.